Networking Beyond the Business Card. My name is Beakes. I'm the Vice President for Development here at the University of Charleston. And I've got some things circulating right now, but I ran out of copies, so Teresa's making some more copies for me, and I'll make sure we get this handout to you. So before we start, I just want to get a brief synopsis of who's here and why you're here. So any volunteers to tell me why you're here and who you are? Not everybody, just a couple. Gabby, you go first.
All right, fantastic. Well, I am just here to learn more about networking and see what I can do more with my college students over and really learn how to get my face out there and see what it's all about.
Your major is?
Communication.
Communications major. And what's your ultimate goal? Okay, the company spokesperson. Okay, who else wants to tell me who you are and why you're here? Yes, ma'am.
My name is Mary King, and I'm here to help my networking skills whenever I get out of grad school to be able to get a job.
Get a job. Get a job. And you're in grad school now?
Yeah.
Here at the university?
Yeah.
And you're in the MBAL program? Okay, great. Anybody else? So I would assume that the two responses I got, I assume that's probably the main reason why you are here. You're here at school, or you're finishing up school, you're coming to this workshop because you're trying to find ways to network better, and the ultimate goal is to get a job probably. So the very first thing we're going to do is talk about what the heck is networking. Networking can mean several different things. Networking can mean several different things, and I want to kind of give you a synopsis of what I think networking is. So a couple of ground rules. One, I did not prepare a speech to you that is based on some book or anything of that nature, some expert in the field or anything of that nature. What I'm going to share with you is the things that have helped me be successful in my career. Now, what qualifies me to give you this presentation? I'm circulating kind of my resume around so that you can kind of see what I've done. And I wanted to give you context for what I have done so that you can understand where I'm coming from when I'm sharing with you the techniques that I have learned and put to use in becoming successful in my career. I was a student at the University of Charleston, graduated in 2002. Politics was my big thing. That's what I wanted to do. Right out of college, I worked for the West Virginia Republican Party as its political director. And that in turn led to my biggest job up until that point, which was to be the Chief of Staff for the Secretary of State's office for Betty Ireland when she was Secretary of State. That led to a private industry job in sales at Petroleum Products, which was just down the road in Bell. And I was in their sales force, which then led to my next job, which was the state director of the John McCain campaign in 2008 for the state of West Virginia, which led to this job. And I am now the Vice President for Development for the University of Charleston. And for those of you who don't know what development means, I raise money for the institution. I raise money for scholarships, for campaign, for capital projects, residence halls, the Sports and Fitness Center. So that's my job. So as you can see, everything I have done in my career has had heavy networking implications, meaning I have had to utilize my networking skills and hone in on my networking skills in order to become successful at whatever I was doing, whether it was in sales, fundraising, or politics. That's what I did. The message I want you to leave with today is this one thing. Make networking purposeful. Make networking purposeful. It is not an accident. It is not something that just happens. Make networking purposeful. So here's what I want you to do for me. One, if you have a piece of paper, write down for me, what is your goal? your goal?
My goal for life?
What is your goal? Next question. Who are you trying to meet? Who do you want to be in front of? The next question. What are your top 2 or 3 strengths and or advantages? Top 2 or 3 strengths and or advantages. And finally, what are your top 2 or 3 weaknesses or disadvantages? Okay, hold on to those, and we'll come back to them later. And you can think about them as we go through this process. But we'll share some of these later. And after we're done with our exercise, we'll probably have a completely different way of thinking of those questions. So let me share with you a couple of case studies. And then what I'm going to share with you is the top 10 list. This is just Ben Beakes' top 10 list in networking, what I have found to be successful. Most of you in this room, as I've alluded to, and you have alluded to me, are here because ultimately you want to have a job after college. You want to be a productive citizen in society. You want to have a productive career. Well, how in the world do you get that started? Well, you've made the right choice by coming to the University of Charleston, and I really do mean that. I hope you've taken advantage of internships and things of that nature. If you haven't and you have time to do so, do it. Absolutely do it. Okay. So here I am. It's first semester 2002. I have 3 night classes that I'm taking, and I'm finishing up a portfolio. I'm still technically a full-time student. I'm slated to graduate early in December, and I'm working part-time in the admissions office as an admissions counselor for the University of Charleston. Not full-time, but part-time, because I'm not a college graduate yet. So I'm getting ready to graduate in about 3 months, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't want to go to grad school. I just don't think I'm ready for grad school right now. I'm a little burnt out on school. I want to enter the workforce, have this passion for politics, and here I go. What is my goal? My goal, I want to find a job in politics. I want to get involved in politics. It's what I want to do. Who do I want to meet? I want to meet those people who are going to help me get a job in politics. What are my advantages? Very personable. I'm going to have a college education, and I feel confident in my abilities. What are my weaknesses? I live in the state of West Virginia, which is controlled by the Democrat Party, and I'm a Republican. So I have these things in front of me, and I'm thinking, what am I going to do? So this is how I did it. During my college days, my parents were never involved in politics. They were not connected in any way in the political realm. It was up to me to make the connections in order for me to gain gainful employment in what I wanted to do, which is work in politics. So I volunteered on campaigns. I was very purposeful. What can I do to get myself out there? I started at the bottom. I volunteered on campaigns, and I did this little simple thing called collecting business cards. I would collect the business cards. I would write on the back of them who this person is, where I met them. And I just kept them. Okay? And I kept a stack of them, and here it comes now time, 3 months before I'm graduating, and I need a job. So I sit down at my computer, with notes on the back of them. And I emailed every single person that I had a business card for, and I have a note to myself on where I met this person. One of those emails I sent happened to be to the chairman of the Republican Party at the time. His name was Chris Warner. And I met him through volunteering a campaign. And I knew who he was, and I made a purpose to make sure that he knew who I was. 2 years later, I'm here emailing him saying, I'm getting ready to graduate in 3 months. I know you're very connected. I just think that I have something to offer. I'm very energetic. I would love to work in politics, but I'm also seeking other opportunities. I'm keeping my doors open and my options broad as to what I can do. I'm just trying to get started in my life. And here's what I've done so far. Within an hour, I got an email response back from him. None of the other 59 people emailed me, but 1 out of 60 did. He emailed me back and says to me, meet me at Bob Evans tomorrow morning, 7:30, downtown Charleston. There used to be a Bob Evans for Brick Street Insurance Service. Sure thing. Met him at 7:30. By 9:30, I was offered the political director position for the West Virginia State Republican Party. True story. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no clue. But that's what I did preparing for myself by collecting this business card and writing on the back where I met these people led to my first job. Absolute true story. Second thing, in this job, what is my goal? I'm trying to raise money for the sports and fitness center. Who do I want to meet? I'm not going to mention his name, but it's a particular individual who I know can write pretty hefty checks to the sports and fitness center. What are my strengths? What's for me? What's working for me? Well, I know a person fairly well that knows this person. What's my weakness, the disadvantage? I have no connection whatsoever to the person that I'm trying to fix. So what do? This one person that I knew, I started thinking, I think he'll be helpful to me. He's actually one of our neighbors. So I met with him, shared with him what we're trying to do. I knew I could get a meeting with this gentleman. Shared with him what I'm trying to do, and I said to him, this friend of yours, I think could be helpful to us, and I'd love a chance to meet with him. And he says to me, he's not made any contributions to the university, and I don't think he's getting ready to start now. But you know what? There's this function I go to. It's a lunch function that happens once a month. Why don't you come with me? Because he always comes too. Bingo. I'll fast forward a bit. The gentleman's already met with the president and has said that he's ready to make contributions to the University of Charleston. Networking. Make networking purposeful. Most people approach networking as some social function, you're at a business after hours or something of that nature and just meeting all these different people, and that's what networking is to them. I'm going to meet as many people as I possibly can so I can broaden my networking base. And that's great. And yes, you should do that. But what is your goal? If you're an accounting major, are there any in this room? Okay, there's one accounting major. You probably, maybe not, want to have a job with some accounting firm. And if you want to stay in Charleston, West Virginia, wow, your prospects are great because there are a ton of accounting firms here in Charleston, West Virginia. What's your goal? You want to get a job with an established accounting firm here in Charleston, West Virginia. Who do you want to meet? There you go. Who is it? Okay. There you go. Perfect. I'm going to pick on you then. So she has already identified that person. I want to meet this individual because he can help me get a job. And what's your strength? Personable, you can talk about it easily. What's your other strength? Okay, what is your networking strength? What's your advantage? What's the obvious thing exactly? You might not be thinking of it, but I see one that's perfectly obvious. He's a UC alumnus, and you're going to the University of Charleston. There's your connection. you see my bio there, who thinks they can be me? Right now, I mean seriously, like come up here and actually pretend to be me. Who knows me well enough to do that? Gabby, you know me pretty well. All right, come up here. So Gabby is going to be Ben Beakes, okay? Now take a look at my resume, all right? So here's the setting, Gabby, okay? Go along with me. I'll probably tell you. Setting, we are at a business after hours function, okay? And there's several of those that go on in Charleston, and you need to look at the calendar to see when they happen. So we're at a business after hours function. Okay, there's probably 250 people there, all right? But you have come in, or I have come in, and I've said, I want a job in politics. And I've heard that Ben Beakes is going to be there, and I know he's really well connected in the political realm. So my goal is